On this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly, the inauguration and new teachers. All this and more coming up next. Hi, and welcome to this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly. I'm your host, Hannah Kestenberg. A new year means seniors are getting towards graduation. Sam has the details on things seniors want to do before the year ends.
Graduation is 6 months away. Here are some of the things that the class of 2021 wants to do before it's over.
Something I want to do before I graduate is attend one more Neuqua Valley football game.
Something I want to do before I graduate is travel something with nice weather with my friends.
Before I graduate, I want to follow my dream and perform at Neuqua Knows It Can Dance.
One thing I'd like to do before I graduate is be back in the building for in-person classes and end out my senior year as normal as possible.
One thing I want to do before my senior year ends is to actually be able to high-five the freshmen in my advisory class.
Something that I want to do before I graduate is go to prom.
Before I graduate, I want to perform in a variety show one last time and be able to see my favorite teachers and my friends in person in school.
Something that I hope to do before I graduate is attend senior prom.
Something that I hope to experience before graduation is going back to school in person as well as a senior year baseball season.
Something I want to do before graduation is to have the chance to go out with my teammates and my coaches one last time to go through game week and game day preparation and go out there on Neuqua's home field and get one last dub as a Wildcat.
Something I want to do before graduation is do a senior prank.
Congrats to the class of 2021 for their graduation in May. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Sam Applebaum.
This school year brought many new teachers to Neuqua. April fills you in about some new members of staff.
With many new ways of learning and teaching being brought on with online school, we as well have many new teachers joining our Neuqua Valley community. As their first year teaching is taken virtually, they have to adapt to getting used to being on the computer.
So, it is pretty crazy to have it be virtual. I'm used to being in a classroom and vibing off the students' energy. So to be online and then having some cameras off and very few on, it's very, very tricky.
With being taken online and experiencing being a teacher through a computer, they try to bond with their students as best they can.
One thing that I like to do every day is I start off with a question that I want everybody to answer in the chat when they come in. And I usually try to make it something like a this or that. So one day I did pancakes or waffles, and then, or I'll maybe ask them what's your favorite part about the holiday season? Something like that. And
with the school year coming close to an end, these teachers have future goals for next year.
I think obviously on the other side of this pandemic, getting to actually make music, getting to work with ensembles more, if I get to spend more time at Neuqua, just getting to meet a lot more staff members. Obviously this year has been a lot different, so I haven't been able to meet a lot of people and collaborate. So that's probably one of the biggest things.
Welcome all of the new teachers to Neuqua Valley, and good luck with the rest of your first years of teaching. For Wildcat Weekly, I'm April Grove.
Every year, the Illinois State Legislature passes new laws for the year. Jim fills you in about the new 2021 laws.
Throughout the year, the Illinois State Legislature passes numerous bills into law, which traditionally go into effect on New Year's Day the following year. One of the major laws that was passed is a part of an initiative to get Illinois' minimum wage up to $15 by 2025. As so to avoid economic damage, the state has been going about achieving their goal of a $15 minimum wage incrementally. In 2021, the new minimum wage will be $11 an hour, up from $10 an hour last year. Price controls for insulin took effect on New Year's Day, which limited co-payments to $100 for a 30-day supply of insulin. 2 new laws relating to education were also passed. Public school students are now required to learn LGBTQ history in schools, and middle school students are now required to take a semester of civics. Unlike the other bills that got signed into law, the most important bill that could have changed the course of Illinois' future actually didn't get signed into law. The Fair Tax Amendment would have shifted Illinois' tax structure from a flat tax to a progressive income tax. Upheaving the tax structure so drastically would have required to amend Illinois' Constitution, so it had to go to a referendum that was voted on in the general election. Ultimately, it didn't pass. Despite Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton saying that income taxes may need to be raised anyway thanks to a looming budget crisis, the fair tax still didn't pass thanks to a combination of fear-mongering and Illinoisans' distrust in how their government functions.
So even though the proponents of the Fair Tax Amendment said that, what was it, like 85% of Illinoisans would see zero difference or even pay less taxes, the people that were against the Fair Tax Amendment said that, I remember one of the commercials said it was granting new powers to the state legislature, which actually is not true because the Illinois state legislature already has the power to set the tax rates. If they wanted to change our flat tax percentage to something else, they totally could.
Despite the fair tax not passing, many laws this year that the state legislature has passed are sure to enact meaningful change. For Wildcat Weekly, I'm Jim Reindell.
With the 2020 election over, a new president-elect is on his way to the Oval Office. Connor fills you in about the details of the inauguration.
The President-elect of the United States, Donald John Trump.
The long, grueling year of 2020 is finally over, and the first thing on our plates in the new year is Inauguration Day. On this day, President-elect Joe Biden will be sworn into office as the new President of the United States. Inaugurations are a key part of American history because of how major a change it can be to our country. Location of the inauguration changes from time to time, with this year's being held on the west front of the U.S. Capitol. But no matter what, it's always held on January 20th due to the 20th Amendment in the Constitution. During this event, presidents are officially sworn in by taking the oath of office.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear.
That I will execute the office of President to the United States faithfully.
I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
The oath of office has been stated 72 different times by 45 different U.S. presidents in numerous locations, including 6 times in the White House, 7 times outside of Washington, D.C., and 55 times in the U.S. Capitol. Usually at the event, there is an inaugural parade to celebrate our new president, but due to COVID-19, the parade will be held virtually this year. Even though there won't be many people to witness this year's in person, it should be a great spectacle for all Americans to watch, as every inauguration day drives our country in a new direction. Be sure to tune in to your favorite news channel on January 20th to experience this moment in history. And for Wildcat Weekly, I'm Connor Burns.
Thank you for watching this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly. Have a great weekend, Wildcats.